Hi, I know it's been a while, but welcome back to my craft room. Um, I was feeling the urge to do something for Halloween, and I found these two doll torsos. See, they're kind of stumpy. They have arms and mitten hands, and they're kind of jointed. And I found these in my room. They were already, sewn and stuffed, but they were blank. They had nothing. They were just the bodies. So yesterday, I got out some acrylic bottles of paint that I've had in my craft room for a while and some paintbrushes. And after doing some needle sculpting on them, like you can see, this one's got dimension now, and that's done through needle sculpting. If I thought about it, I would have done a video while I was doing the needle sculpting, but to be honest, I'm kind of out of practice with it, so it might have been a lot of trial and error. And then with this one, the needle sculpting just is making the pumpkin segments, because at first I was going to make two witches, and then to my surprise, this one decided it was going to be a pumpkin head. And anyone who's made dolls knows that these little figures kind of make up their own mind as to how they're going to come out. At least for me, they do. So I'm inviting you along on my journey as I continue to work on my witch doll. Now, like I said, when I started these, I was using my acrylic paint. So now I'm going to be doing more detail work, and I decided I was going to play around with some other stuff that I have. Like, I bought Posca pens, and I've never used them, and that's acrylic paint in pen form. So I thought that would be great to start maybe defining the eyes and the eyebrows and maybe the scar a little bit. And so, welcome, and let's see what happens. As you can see, I've got purple going on in her eyes. So I will take this purple pen. Let me get a piece of paper so that I can make sure that the pen is started. Let's see, where would that be good? Maybe over here? Yeah. Yep, and the purple pen is going. So let's see where it flows. Let me move that out of the way and I will try to stay in frame. I'm still practicing. I don't have a lot of experience yet making videos. I'm hoping to get better. As you can see, I'm kind of defining an eyelid by using my purple pen. And then to do this other side, sometimes it's like having a dominant hand. Well, sometimes your eye is dominant also, and it's easier to do one side in one direction and then to pick the other side up going in the other direction, so that you're making the same motion with your hand on both sides. And then I'm going to turn it around so I can see what I've got. And right now, she's looking much more like those are eyes, although the one on the left needs a little bit more coming down towards the pupil. Because in an eye, really the top part of your eye isn't exposed. It's pretty much covered by your eyelid. So you want to kind of get the eyelid down to where it's at least touching, or looks like it's even covering part of the pupil. There. Well, let's see. I also want to do a little white, because at this point the shine in the pupil really makes a big difference to the lifelike action of the doll. I'm just trying to get the white pen started, because most of these Posca pens I haven't used yet. So if I can get this white pen to go, I probably should have done this before I started the video, but I didn't think about it, and to be honest, if I had started this before I started the video, there it goes, I probably wouldn't have thought to do the video because I would have gone right ahead. Okay, so now you want to decide where the light is coming into your face, because you don't want these highlights to be in different areas of the pupil. So let me put a dot there. See how much that livens up the face? And then let's see if I can get one in the same spot without being right over it. Well, almost. And then we can take this pen and kind of do a little bit there and just a little bit there. And all of a sudden, you've got a witch that's looking back at you. A little bit creepy. Now the eyes are still kind of flat, and I probably shouldn't have done that before I gave the eyes more dimension. But for now, we're going to go with that. I will work on more of the inside of the eye in a minute. Let's see. Well, we got to do a lower lid. And I think for the lower lid, I'm actually going to do kind of this vibrant green. I have bought the 15 pens, Posca pen set on Amazon. Of course, this one's not started either, so I need to start this pen. And I'm just pressing down and holding it to get the ink running, or the, not ink really, acrylic paint. It's starting. You can see it at the top of the nib. Oh, almost there. There we go. Okay. So now for the bottom eyelid. I'm going to start this one up kind of here. Got to push a little bit more because I don't have enough paint down in it yet. And I'm just going to bring that around. I overlap the purple a little bit, but it's all fixable. At this point, we're just getting paint down. And I'm going to have to turn the doll around again. Sorry. Let's see, get some nice green color under that eye. You do want to bring it up almost to the eye, upper eyelid. What you have to remember is that when you're working on eyes, the lower lid actually kind of looks like it goes under the upper lid a little bit. So you don't want the lower lid to go past the upper lid. So just quick, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to add a little more purple and cover that little splotch of green up, just so I don't forget. Okay, and that's not too bad. Trying to decide for the mouth. See, this is where it takes a long time for me, because you need to, well, she's got light blue, shaking the pen. She's got light blue color in her eyes, and of course the light blue pen isn't started either, so bear with me. I'm going to get that going. It's fall here. It's been kind of gray and bleak the last couple of days. And we had heavy wind yesterday, and a lot of the leaves have come down. I'm not a raker. I don't like to go out and rake my leaves. I generally like to just leave them as nature's fertilizer for the next year. Plus it gives a lot of ground cover for little animals and stuff to use. And I think it actually helps insulate the ground a little bit too. Okay, so now the blue one's going. This is a really pretty blue. Everything on this pen is written in Japanese, so I have no idea what it says. I'm going to put a little bit of this blue around the pupil. Now, the top of the eye is generally darker than the bottom of the eye because it's under the shadow of the eyelid, which is also good to keep in mind. Of course, I'm not really happy with what I'm doing because I really should have done this part first, but that's okay. Because we can always go back and touch stuff up. That's not really a problem. And generally, when I make a witch, I give the witch green eyes. I don't usually go with blue eyes on a witch, because to me, witches just mean, you know, green eyes. Now I'm just trying to start my darker green pen, because I do want to go into the eye a little bit with this dark green. I may take colored pencils and do some fine highlighting in detail. And then I have some gel pens. Doll making is really relaxing, and you use multimedia all the time, which I really love. I love using tons of different things to create. And to me, doll making is kind of a, I don't know, I always feel like when I make something in paper that it's temporary, that it's not something that people generally keep and cherish for a very long time. Whereas I feel like dolls are more of a, I guess what you would call a keeper art. Like when I give a gift of a doll, I feel like it's appreciated, it might be put on a shelf. Granted, I understand that a lot of people think dolls, especially clown dolls, and porcelain dolls to me are creepy. But I understand that a lot of people feel that dolls are creepy. But, I don't know. I've just always, and I think it's been always, because I used to do stuff for Barbies when I was just a little kid. I'd make my own Barbie clothes and do all kinds of stuff. So I have just always loved making dolls. Okay, so I went back and I kind of topped up the highlight. I may have to top up the pupil if I keep it up. But anyway, so there's the witch's face. Now, I like how with my paintbrush yesterday, I was able to kind of get, I don't know if you can see this, but I was able to put some lines in her lips that kind of go along with the wrinkles I tried to make between her mouth and her nose, kind of like, I don't know, she's thinking or she's got some evil design. So I'd like to be able to keep those darker lines, but I do want to kind of pump her mouth up some. I don't know that I'm going to do that with Posca pens because these are kind of broad tipped and it's really hard to keep control with them. At least I think it is. They're just a little bit too broad. Maybe if I had the finer tipped ones, it wouldn't be quite so bad. But maybe that's all I'm going to do with the Posca pens for now. I think I may do a little bit with some of my colored pencils. Let's see. I do have, like everybody, I've got the watercolor pencils, the water-soluble ones, but I've also got Prismacolor colored pencils, and probably a bunch of other things. But I'm going to start with just regular colored pencils. I also have the Color Ace Prismacolor pencils, and I'll be using a combination. I just put all of my colored pencils kind of in a box, so you will see that I have the Color Erase, because then these are Prismacolor Erase pencils, And I've got regular Prisma pencils. I'm trying to stay in frame, sorry. And I probably have other things in here, although I do try to keep it to be just like Prismacolor and in one box, and anything else I have in a different box. So let's see. I'm kind of working with a purple and green and some blue palette. The purple I kind of using in my witch detail and eye shadow. And green and blue is kind of her skin tone and her shadows. Like this is flat here. This is just a shadow that I put in with acrylic paint so that when she has her clothes on, you know, her witch's top and her lace blouse or tulle and her cape, along with her witch's hat, it kind of has a natural dimension look to it. So with my purple pencil, I think I'm going to come in here and just go through this scar a little bit and maybe come down, because I really want this scar to look kind of pronounced. And not like it just kind of ends. Let's see. And this is shadow where her eyelid comes back into her head. Right now, this is a black Prismacolor pencil, the color erase pencil. Maybe I'll put a little bit. Oh, see, I messed that up because I didn't wait long enough for that white paint to dry. But no worries. Anything you do can be fixed. Paint is an amazing thing. Let's see. I did give her warts. I do like witches with warts. Nothing says witch like warts. Okay, let's see. So this is her mouth. I'm just extending it a little bit. And then I'll give her some outlining to her mouth with this black pen. Not pen, pencil. I do like using colored pencil. I've used all kinds of things. You can use chalks, you know, you can use pastels. You can use anything on cloth. And just make anything that you can imagine. It's your only limitation is your imagination. Okay, and I'm sorry if I get a little quiet. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate and work and talk at the same time. I do want this to be black right around her real shape of her eye. Because while it's nice to bring it all off like that, we all know your eyelid does not go off your face like that. It pretty much stays right around your eye. At least if you want to hold your eye in the socket, it does. And once again, I'm going to turn this doll over or around just a little bit so I can get to the other side a little bit easier. And the fun with a cloth doll isn't just the multimedia that you can use to create the face and the shadows or the hands and the nails. It's also in all the fabrics and fibers that you can use to create costumes and all the fun you can have with that kind of thing. Let's see, I made her lower eye area green, and I'm going to take a darker green pencil and I'm going to try to make that ridge in the lower eyelid. I mean, normally it would be kind of pink, but she's a witch, so we're not going to do pink, we're going to do green. She's not a people witch, she's a fantasy witch. There. Okay. And then for, let's see, I might as well keep my pencils out that I'm using. I think for the inside area of her eye, I think I'm going to go with violet right in here. This would be that red little thing. Well, she's got purple. She's a purple witch. Her blood is purple. Her veins are purple. Her scar is purple. She likes purple eyeshadow. She's just purple. And while I'm saying that, I'm going to darken her lower lip up a little bit, because that I'm not worried about maintaining the lines in. But then I'm also going to darken her upper lip. I might not be able to keep those lines. I may have to make those lines a different color. Now you can see I'm coming into an area where there is wrinkles from the way I've needle felted, or not needle felted, needle sculpted. Needle sculpted her. So actually I'm going to leave the lines there because it does kind of look like highlights. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a lighter purple pencil and try to actually put some highlights into her lower lip. There. Okay, maybe I'm going to take some of this lavender that I just used on her lip, and I may come in here. Now this is shadow for under her eye, this blue shadow. So now I'm going to come in here with the lavender. And kind of give her cheek some color. Because maybe she's not a sallow witch. Maybe she's a flirty witch. She can be anything she wants to be. So now I've done this, and I've given her some color in her face. I should probably put some down here for her chin. And maybe a little bit up here in her forehead. I'm just doing it, you know, in broad swipes. Nothing, maybe a little bit on her nose. Okay, and then let's see, I've got in my bag of tricks somewhere, I've got tortillons, blender stumps. Just have to find it, which, because I have so much stuff, can sometimes be problematic. It looks like it's going to be problematic this time. So I will have to go through my box of Prismacolor pencils. Okay, let's see, that's peach. I'm looking for my blender pencil. I do have a... Okay, well, my battery died, so I had to replace that. And I can't seem to find my blender pencil, even though I'm stubborn and continue to look. So what we'll do is I will just take an even lighter color, maybe this. I have no idea what color this is, but it's kind of yellowy, and I will see. Maybe I'll test it down here and see how it comes out. Oh, that's not too bad. So we'll maybe go over the lavender with this yellow color. I know. It's always, for me, I wing it. I know that I'm making a witch, but the rest of it is all, however it happens, it happens. Let's see, maybe I'll take a little bit and I'll go underneath this scar some and give it more dimension, you know? There's that. Let's see. What else does she need? She could probably stand a few. Wrinkles across her head. Maybe a little more yellow, since we didn't really use yellow. Try to like blend it in with that green. Fill in any outstanding areas that look like it could use a little more shadow, like around her nose. I mean, if I can make a doll, I think anyone can make a doll. It's just the way it is. Put a little more shadow down here around her nose, especially around the bottom of her nose. This yellow color is really kind of disgusting because I'm not a yellow fan to begin with. So I always feel justified because when I use yellow, I always feel like I'm outside my comfort zone because it's just not a go-to color. Green would be a go-to color for me. Which is probably why I added a little bit of green into her eyes. Let's see. What else? That lavender color just didn't level out well enough for me. So I'm going to take some of this gray and I'm going to do a little more blending. Put some of this in here just to kind of tone down the little pinky color that's I see coming up here. Just to kind of help blend it all in. Okay, let me just take a look at her. My lighting isn't the best in this room right now, but I'm kind of afraid to turn on my work lights that I usually have on because they would really cast a glare on the surface. Let's see. Well, let me take this charcoal gray. It's kind of a, I don't know, kind of a silvery gray, I guess. Pewter, maybe. And I think I'm going to just come up here again where I put that black pencil in, where her crease of her eye is. I'm going to hit that with some gray, and I may go over some of that purple with it. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And I may tone down this green with it a little bit. Maybe come up there with it. I see what I mean about when you turn the doll over, you're kind of working in the same direction. Right now, I am kind of going the opposite of... Okay, well, my camera died again, so I had to stop. And I think I got a little bit further than where I was, but I did find my tortillon and my blending stump. And I did go over all of her face a little bit with the blending stump, and now she's kind of a gray shade of green. And I also have my working light on, so it is a little bit brighter, so you can see a little bit better, and so can I. So I think that's all I'm going to do with the colored pencils for now. And to clean my blending stump off, all I do is I take a sanding sponge. This is a fine grit 150 that you can get at the hardware store, and I just clean it off every time I use it. And that's all I do with that. And I keep this sanding sponge right in the top of my pencil, my colored pencil case. And that way I always know where it is. Okay, had to empty my SD card because I ran out of space. I don't think I got any further. I think this is still where I left it. I had used my tortillon, and I had kind of smoothed over all of my colored pencil areas. And now I am just considering what I want to do next. And I was thinking that it might be fun to, well, maybe I'll go from colored pencils to some markers. Just have to go into another box and look at markers. Let's see. How about, okay, well, I just want to accentuate things. I don't want to muddy it up. So this is a Marvy Artwin marker. I've had these a long time. They may or may not still be available. This is number 96, Jungle Green. And so let's put a little jungle green. Oh yeah, that really defines the eye much better. Try not to close the eye up too much. Let's see. I wonder if that can go a little bit on the black, kind of make those warts look a little green. And maybe put a little green here. Accentuate some of my witchy lines. That's pretty cool. Let's see, and here I have a couple of purple markers. This is an Elements fine tip. So let's see, this one looks like it's metallic, so I think I'm going to put a little metallic right there on the very lid, kind of above the black there. I'm not getting too extravagant here. Once I have her dressed and stuff, I would probably go back and maybe add some stuff. And this is just a fine tip, extra fine point Sharpie. I might even put a little bit of that right there. And this is purple. So I'm kind of adding it, trying to add it. Try wiping it off. Yeah, it's still working. Try to add it just onto the green. Okay. Well, now I would probably still put some sparkle on her, and probably some type of a gloss over her eyes, but I really won't do that until towards the end. Right now, I'm thinking I would like to find some kind of a glitter. Let's see, this is a jelly roll, Sakura jelly roll. I don't know if this has glitter in it or not. Let's see. Oh, has a little something something. Oh yeah. Definitely added a little shine. I don't know if you can see it so much, but her eyes are really taking on some definition. I could go on and on playing with this one thing all day, which can be a bad thing. You may notice that she's got like splotches on her body and her hands, and that's because I coffee stained the fabric when I first after I had cut out the fabric and sewed the parts together. Before I stuffed it, I actually coffee dyed it, because at the time I was thinking about making a Prem, which is kind of an antique, grungy looking doll, but I kind of ran out of steam with that, so now the witch has kind of coffee stained body parts, and her face had coffee staining underneath too. I'm going to switch her out for the pumpkin head and go on and see what we can do there. So at this point, I'm going to say that that's going to be another video. So thank you for joining me. I am hoping that you enjoyed watching some of my face process on my dolls, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing the witch. And maybe as I move on and do other aspects of her hair, and what I'm going to do with her body and her costume, I'll do another video and show you how she progresses. Thanks for watching. Take care. Don't forget, like and subscribe and share the video with your friends if you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Bye.